Welcome back, roguelikers. Let's set our sackles. Let's first of all, let's click into the right box. Let's move this window over. Let's set our cycles to max. Let's go. Okay. I did take the time to look this morning at some I found the documents for version 3, not version 2, but version 3, and I assume a lot of it applies. So with that in mind, number lock. With that, son of a bitch, how do I do this? Number lock. There we go. With that in mind, here's what I know. At least in version 3, and I assume in version 2. With the bonus strength damage, we know the bonus strength damage is here. I have no reason to suspect it's any different than it would be in version 3. It picks a random number from 1 to 10. If that number is equal to or less than, or maybe just equal to. I'm actually not entirely... I don't want to look it up. Not entirely sure if it's equal to or less than, but if it's equal to or less than, I think, your strength, then you do a number of damage equal to extra damage, between 1 and your strength. So we do 1 to 5 extra damage 50% of the time, I think, maybe 40%. So that's that. In terms of our spells, I looked that up too. The death spell is 100% successful, it just won't work on Xaskazien. The undead destruction spell is 100% successful, it just won't work on Xaskazien. The exchange spell allows you to exchange 1 point of strength, dexterity, or intelligence for 1 point of strength, dexterity, or intelligence. It won't affect your health. So that's that. The only other thing I saw, the altars in version 3 have a 90% chance of healing you back to full, but a 10% chance of killing you outright. I think that's all I looked up, as I recall. But there you go. There's some knowledge that we can. I don't know if the altars applies here. I know for a fact there was a version of. Oh, it's an ogre. Of Caverns of Xaskazien. So he has a. Let's see here. We have plate mail healing. He has a 10% chance to hit us for 1 to 6 damage. We have a 40% chance to hit him. Nonetheless, let's keep looking for potions, because why wouldn't we? So this guy has likewise a 10% chance to hit us for 1 to 4. We have a 50% chance to hit him for 1 to 8, plus on top of that a 50% chance of 1 to 5 additionally. Could probably one-shot him. It's certainly possible for us to one-shot him, but not if we do 1 damage. That is a lair. Interesting. Do you want to enter the tomb? Okay. Layers are, I guess layers were introduced in version 2. That's a serpent. Could poison us. Let's step on it. I did poison us. Let's kill it now so we can cast Cure. Alright, so C. There we go, we're cured. Let's hope there's not a second serpent. Layers must have been introduced with version 2, apparently. And what they are is, instead of taking the stairs down, you can take... That's an exit to another level. And it's a level at the same dungeon depth. So if we take that, we go to another dungeon level 9. But it's not just another random level. It's randomly generated. But it will be populated entirely by one monster type, whatever that type happens to be. In the case of a tomb, I know for sure it's an undead. I'm not sure. I'm guessing based on the fact that we're on dungeon level 9, this probably leads to a map filled entirely with zombies, which wouldn't be so bad. We could kick their ass. And on top of that, our undead destruction spell would help us out if we needed it. Let's actually raise our intelligence. I know I said health, but if we raise our intelligence, we now have access to the grievous healing spell, and that could really come in handy, in theory, especially once we hit level 11 and get a ton more spell points. Let's try and kill the wisp before it teleports away. I teleported away, I think. I don't think I killed it. Again, without sound effects, sometimes it's hard to tell if I killed it or not. Didn't realize how reliant on sound effects I was for that notification. Turns out pretty reliant. Oh, shit. Alright, the ogre's dead. We are doing alright. I mean, I get cocky. Not just in Caverns. In any given roguelike. When I start doing well after a while, I get kind of cocky and be like, I can win this. I especially find that's true in Caverns. Even in Caverns 2 today. I wouldn't probably feel cocky at dungeon level 9, but in Caverns 2 today, even, I reach a certain spot where it's like, I'm doing really well, and I start to feel like, I think I'm going to win, and then something comes along to show me my hubris. That's a gray ooze. I think its special ability is it can degrade your weapon. Let's not let it hit us. In Caverns 2, you could unequip your weapon, and therefore not, you could fight it barehanded, or you could just avoid it, like I'm doing. Or you could unequip your weapon, then get in a square and cast a bunch of spells at it, but, you can't unequip your weapon here, so let's not fight it. I'm assuming that's what the ooze does. I forgot to look up if the bugbear has the special ability of the bonus attack or not in this version of the game. It might. It's not going to the tomb yet. Let's try not to pick up the gold yet. Or we don't need the health potion yet. The same phenomenon as work when it said enter tomb there, as was at work say when it said do you want to drink from the fountain. It doesn't give you any hint. In version 2 of the game, it doesn't give you any hint of what these things mean. It's a valid complaint that some players had. I mentioned before when we were doing Reaping the Dungeon. We were doing our playthrough of, that's a gelatinous cube. I think its special abilities it can automatically hit. The were-rat might be able to poison, I don't know, based on the fact that it's ratty. That's a were-rat, by the way, the brown guy. What the hell was I saying? We're going to tear it down pretty easy, though. We killed it. Yeah, it hits automatically, right? Its attack, that's why it has a dash next to it. It automatically hits no matter what. So I don't necessarily want to fight it right now. Maybe a little later. Gotta be careful in this region. I don't know if that ooze got around the, got around a corner and can get at us now in this unexplored territory. Might be wiser to come at it from a different direction so that we can find out where that ooze is. Probably can't come through doors. I don't know. Okay, we killed the gelatinous cube. The G cube. What the hell was I saying? Yeah. I mentioned when we were doing our playthrough of Reaping the Dungeon that the only way I initially heard about that game was via a gentleman named Chris Asic, who has his own YouTube channel called ADG, or Ancient DOS Games. He played it on there, and I'm like, oh, fuck, that's a cool game. But the reason I know of Chris Asic and ADG is he contacted me at one point a number of years back and said he wanted to do a video on Caverns of Xaskazien and asked if I was cool with that. So that's how I found out about him, and his playthrough is up. You can look it up. And he brings up the very, again, valid complaint that he drank at a fountain in that game and was instantly struck dead because it did enough damage to kill him. And he's like, that's not entirely fair. And he's 100% right. That is not fair. If you have no clue that something can happen and then it just happens. If it's something that's super, super rare and there's ways in game to predict that this could happen or ways to avoid it, that's one thing. But with the fountain, you just had no idea what was going to happen. And that is a case in point across the board with, we got a fucking ladder too. Do we want to go to the, I think the ladder is a better bet than the, shit, I was looking forward to the lair, but I think the ladder's a better bet. Yeah, in the case of the lair, there you can see a case in point. It says, do you want to enter the tomb? But if you were a new player, you'd be like, what the fuck? What's a tomb? You might figure it out awful quick. You'd be like, it sounds undeady. And when you went in there, you'd see a bunch of zombies, and it would just feel like a tomb. It would feel kind of like a tomb. But in the modern Caverns of Xaskazien 2, it would be a bit more, it would explain outright. Here's what it is. Here's what a lair is, conceptually. And that would give you details about here's what you could encounter in the tomb. Of course, in Caverns 2, it's not just a case of a level filled with one specific type of monster. It also changes the layout of the level and the things you find in the level based on that type of monster. It makes kind of a themed dungeon for you to explore. Let's kill these zombies because we can. I don't think they pose a massive threat to us. And once they're dead, we'll grab that gold. Okay, we're going to increase our health this time. Okay, because of that, we're going to grab the gold. Then we are not going to grab the health potion yet, only because we just raised our health, and I think we're safe-ish. Let's hope this is not a slide trap. Two-handed sword. Okay, we do 1 to 10 damage. I'm getting cockier by the second here, boys. I feel like we can win this no problem. We got good armor. We got a good weapon. As long as we avoid that ooze. Let's hope this isn't a slide trap, because I really want to use that ladder. Teleport, okay. So be it. Where are we going? Okay. Actually, I kind of wanted to go up here anyway, because I realized we didn't explore this. Okay. Now, we have the option of using the lair or the ladder. The lair would, as I said, bring us to a new level filled with zombies. It would give us an extra chance to fight at dungeon level 9. We could kill a bunch of monsters, get some gold. It gives us a better chance of leveling up, say, than if we take the stairs. It allows us to essentially grind by delaying our advancement. But the ladder gives us 2 chances, right? because the ladder will take us to dungeon level 8. So A, we get to fight even weaker monsters to get a bit more experience, a bit more gold. But B, when we're finished with level 8, if we go down the stairs, we're back on level 9. So as a general rule in any version of Caverns, a ladder is like the best thing you can find, because it gives you a chance to delay going down. It gives you a chance to become stronger before you have to face tougher monsters. It's the only way you can grind is by taking alternative routes, really. Let's say yes. Climb that ladder. Dungeon level 8. Maybe we'll have another chance to enter a different layer at some point. Oh, there you go. There's layers, fire, wards, altars, all kinds of crazy shit in this version of the game. I'm surprised. I didn't expect this much. I knew the graphics got updated for level 2, but I didn't, for version 2, pardon me. Oh, we forgot to grab the health potion. That was really freaking stupid, and we do not want to face him. Or him. Shit. Okay, let's magic missile him to try and get rid of him. Alright, he's dead. That's one less rust monster we have to worry about. We don't want him degrading our plate mail armor by any means. Might be worth killing this rat, because if it's going to poison us, we need to know that it's poisoned us, so we don't waste more spell points. So we have that cure spell, but okay, it's dead. Yeah, I expected better graphics, and I knew about the sound issues with this version, this DOS version of the game, but I didn't realize that it advanced to the point where it had added all these dungeon features. Oh, that's a giant slug. It is slow. It personally, again, has a 10% chance to hit us because of our massive plate mail armor. It does 1 to 5 damage. It only has 11 health, but it has good defense. So we only have a 30% chance to hit it. That is a white. Whites can drain your strength. I don't think we want to fight it if we can avoid it, but if we have to fight it, we will cast Undead Destruction. Test out that spell. Let's deal with this giant slug. I wish to God I'd used that health potion. We can deal with this skeleton, no problem. If we end up in the white square, we're going to try to avoid it entirely, because I don't want to give it even a chance to hit me and drain my strength. But if we end up in the square, then we will Undead Destruction it. Hobgoblin's dead. Again, surprised I instantly recognize these icons. Although I guess until 10 years ago, these were the icons for the, not 10 years ago, 8 years ago, these were the icons for the monsters. So maybe it makes sense that I still recognize them. It wasn't that long ago. Fuck. Yeah, I'm going to have to deal with him. Alright, let's hope our plate armor prevents him from hitting us at all. Oh, it's not even, okay, here's another thing that version 2 added, and I didn't know that this was in version 2. Okay, so with version 2 versus 1.13, there are also named monsters now, hero monsters. The fact that his name is written in red right here means this is not just a white. This is a specific white named weakness. When they have a name like that, it means one of their stats is higher than normal. Like, I don't know if it's his health or it's clearly not his defense, because his defense is still 0, but his attack or maybe his damage, I don't know, his attack or his health probably got raised above and beyond what a normal white's stats would be. So he's a tougher monster than usual. He did hit us. We killed him. So here's the good news. We hit him with 12 damage. We killed him. He hit us for 1 damage. I assume our strength is going to drain, but I don't know if it's automatic. Maybe it's like a 25% chance. Maybe it's a 50% chance. Let's find out. We'll hit a key and find out if we lost strength. Hopefully not. Found magic armor +1. Okay, that's another thing. When you kill a named monster at this level in version 2, you find items. They drop items. So that's a good thing. We have magic armor +1. And he did not... Oh, he did drain our strength. Fuck. Alright, so we gained armor +1. We gained some experience, but our strength got drained. That was, I'm not sure, a fair trade-off. We're going to raise our strength again when we level up. But hey, we found out a new thing about version 2. I didn't know. There are named unique monsters in version 2. Fucking right on. This version was considerably more advanced. Now again, if this represents the state of the game in 2004, again, that's when the executable is from, then, it's not so surprising that there's a lot more advanced in it. That means it was worked on for, well, certainly for 8 years after version 1.13, at least 8 or 9 years later. This is where it was. I didn't work on it full time. It's not like I sat down and worked on this game every day. It was like every couple of months I'd be like, hey, I had an idea and I'd add something in. But I still did work on it for, I guess, 8 or 9 years. So it makes sense that it's more advanced. than I recall. Again, we're going to avoid that rust monster entirely. There's no reason to fight it if I can avoid it. That's an idol. With an idol, you can steal the idol's eyes. In the modern game, there's a chance... We'll do it in a minute. There's a chance it's booby-trapped in the modern game. And if it's... And it can also come to life as a stone golem. In this game, that would have been as a golem. There was only one kind of golem in this game. Fucking pit trap, that really hurt us. Let's go get that health potion. It'll give us 24. That's exactly enough to put us back to full. That rust monster can't get out of that little niche, so we're safe from it. Okay, we're back to full. I don't know if that's the same in this version. In Caverns 2, or even in later versions of Caverns 1, you also have another treasure stat called gems. Gems are like gold, but there's no limit on how much you can carry. In those versions of the game, if you stole an idol's eyes, you would get gems, so it wouldn't matter your strength. I didn't want to steal from it right then because we were already carrying gold, and I don't see a gem stat, so I assume whatever we pick up will be... I assume we steal gold from it, essentially. Assuming that's how it works. I don't know, maybe idols work totally differently then. Damn it. Way to move fast, idiot. We mentioned that the stats of that white was raised. Its name was weakness. Also, in modern versions of Caverns, it would tell you what's raised, what's special about it. It wouldn't just be you'd know directly what was the interesting thing about it. Let's try this thing. Let's say yes. Let's steal from the idol. Let's see what happens. We got gems worth 80 gold. Apparently, it counts as gems. Maybe when you pick up gems in this version of the game, it's not a separate stat. Like nowadays, it would be gold this much out of this much you're allowed to carry. And gems is a separate stat, but they both function as treasure. In this, I think when you pick up gems, it just ignores the fact of your strength, apparently. So that's pretty cool. We got a lot of extra stuff out of that. Now let's step on this cross sword. Oh, we can raise our stuff. Let's raise our strength. Get that back. We got magic armor +2. Fuck, are we ever kicking ass, dudes? At a certain point, this magic armor will stop serving us. We'll be like so high up defense that every monster, including Xaskazien, will have a 10% chance to hit us. Let's head down to the next level. Back to dungeon level 9. We're almost a third of the way through the entirety. Holy fuck. Okay, that's maybe a ghost to our right. I think not. It's probably a wraith. If it's a wraith, wraiths can drain your experience. But as you can see in this game, it's not like Moria where it keeps track of your cumulative experience. It resets your experience to 0 when you level up. So when we hit 72 experience, if we hit 72 experience exactly, we would now have 0 out of whatever the next thing is, 0 out of 80. Versus, so if it drained our strength right now, if that is a wraith and it can drain our strength, we only have 1 experience point to lose. So it makes sense to face it. If it is a wraith, it makes sense to face it before we get any more experience points. It is a wraith. Oh, we can just cast. Let's just try. Ah, fuck. Hold on. Let's find out if it. Yeah, wraith drains 1 experience point. So now it has no special ability against me. I might as well just fight it with my sword. I was gonna say let's cast Undead Destruction. Even then, to save 1 experience point would have been probably a waste. Especially considering you may need those spell points to cast Cure any second for this serpent. Yeah. Let's finish off the serpent, and when it's dead, we'll cast Cure. Okay, it's dead. C. So again, I hope you guys are enjoying... Wow, fuck. I moved too fast, man. Okay, I think our two-handed sword is going to become a longsword. Ooze melts your weapon, so we have a longsword again. Let's hope it's not moving at the same speed. We really have to be more careful, man. I'm getting cocky. I'm being like, oh, we can kill anything. But yeah, we just took a hell of a step back. Let's see if this replaces our sword. Okay, well, we got our sword back. But that would have been a magic sword +1 if the ooze hadn't melted our weapon. So that's unfortunate. This is an entrance to a legendary land. We'll probably use this. Enter the Great Library. Legendary lands were a new feature added in version 2. I knew that because I saw the file. I saw that one of the files listed in the in the files, the big messy file folder for Caverns 2. Or not Caverns 2, Caverns 1 version 2. So legendary lands are again a new thing. They lead their new exit. Instead of taking the stairs, we take that. It'll go to a new map at dungeon level 9, but that new map is pre-designed. It's made. I had an editor, and I would make the things in an editor, and they would allow you to go to a specific place where you can encounter specific pre-designed maps. I think it's a cool feature, but just so you understand, again, more history and anecdotal history, because we have time, guys. We're doing all right. This may be a longer game. I can talk a bit more about crap that may or may not matter to you. In regards to legendary lands, as to why they were added in the first place, again, I hadn't, even at this stage of the game, which would be 2004, I had no idea how to make better dungeons than what you saw here. Damn it. What you're seeing here, again, is that I mentioned the basic method of designing them. It creates very chaotic levels that don't look, they don't look like rooms and corridors. They look like haphazard blast craters, kind of cavernous. But I wanted to have dungeons with rooms and corridors, and because I had no idea how to do that, obviously I've figured it out since. But with the advent of Caverns 2, you can find Caverns of Xaskazien 2. You can't find them in any version of Caverns 1. Caverns 1 uses this method of map generation solely for every single version of the game. Let's go slowly because that oozes up here, man. There it is. Let's bring it down here. Try and get it trapped. All right. Let's get it trapped in that little alcove, so it can't get out for a while. Unless we go east, it can't get out. And the only way I could think of to allow, more intelligently designed maps was if I intelligently designed them. So that's why legendary lands got added in the first place. I wanted to see what the game looked like with intelligent rooms and corridors and stuff. So they're all pre-designed, but it does add a certain something to the game, because a new element it adds to the game is memorization. Or mapping. If you as a player really want to succeed in Caverns 1 or 2, one small edge you can give yourself is get out a piece of graph paper and map those legendary lands, because you will encounter them again in future playthroughs. You'd be like, I know exactly where this trap is. I know exactly blah blah blah. So not very roguelike-y in that one regard, but a lot of roguelikes have pre-made layers and stuff. I think the idea probably came from Diablo. At this point, I would have by this point I definitely had played Diablo. I wouldn't have, but when I made the first game. I don't assume, because it wasn't around. I don't think the game existed. Diablo didn't exist in 1995. Which is therefore a bit of a coincidence that it also uses strength, dexterity, intelligence, and health, but that would be a coincidence, I think. What the hell was I saying? Surely important things. Oh, but Diablo had pre-designed layers, of course, like King Leoric's tomb and that kind of stuff. So I probably stole the idea from that. Likewise, I think the idea of hero-type monsters, named monsters that have that are tougher, came directly from Diablo 2. Or Diablo rather. I think I saw it in that and was like, hey, that's a cool idea. A lot of the design concepts ended up coming from Diablo. I'm sure of that. Let's just finish exploring over here first. Again, that ooze is kind of trapped, so we're safe from it for a bit. Maybe safe for it from all time. If we don't go south below it, we're safe from it for all time. Let's explore this stuff. There's 7 or so minutes. We'll call this video done as well. We're going to get a few videos out of this. So again, I really hope you guys are enjoying this. As I said, because of the lack of sound and stuff, this is one of my least favorite versions of the game. So I hope it's not. I guess they can pass through doors. I think my concept was they could go under doors, right? Like the Blob. Alright. Let's nonetheless grab this on the way by. We're going to do our best to avoid that ooze anyway. I don't want to have to be coming back for it and risking the ooze a second time. It's pretty easy to avoid. I think it's slow. Yeah, it's slow. It moves every third turn. We could probably avoid it very easily. Let's go deposit this gold. And let's see how this works. Enter the Great Library. I can tell you from A, memory, and B, the fact that it's called a Great Library. There's a lot of spells in there, so if you're playing a spellcaster, if that's what you're kind of building towards, this would be a great place to go. So we're in a pre-made map. All of these pre-made maps still exist in Caverns 2 today. They look different, obviously, in terms of the graphics that present them, but I think I actually used the original map files, so it should be the exact same layout. So technically, this is kind of a spoiler, even for Caverns 2. They might have changed a bit. Occasionally, I went in and added new features because there was new features available to add. A lot of kobolds here. Let's just kill them. Let's just kill them. As we walk around, let's continue to walk around while we kill them. On account of why not? A lot of kobolds here. Screw it, I'm going to kill them all. You can see also down here it tells you, Dungeon Level 9, the Great Library, so you know where you are. With Caverns 2, there are a number of legendary lands, more than there is obviously at this stage of the game, but I haven't added any new ones in a long time. I intend to. In some future update, I will add in a shit ton of legendary lands, because I have a lot of them I want to build, but the reason I haven't is because I've added a lot of content to the game itself in terms of like map tiles and stuff that you can encounter, and therefore I have to actually go code the editor now. I have to update the editor to allow all those different things to be in there, and that's such a pain in the ass. So I'll do it eventually, but it's probably going to be like 2 or 3 days of like 20 hours of work or so to update that editor to be ready to be able to create new legendary lands that can use all the features that exist in the game at this point. So it'll be a while. Come on, man. As you can see, they only have a 1 in 10 chance of hitting us, but they still managed to do 8 damage. There were so many of them. They're not a threat individually, but with enough of them, they can kill you. There's a strength potion, so we'll save that for now. Remember, it's there. That's a mage. Remember them from our first playthrough. They do a lot of damage. A bunch of mages. Oh, here's one too. They can do 1 to 10 damage, but with our armor plus 2, they only have a 10% chance of hitting us. Let's keep looking around. Maybe we'll find a dexterity potion. I don't remember what's here. I know there's spells, but I don't remember the rest of it. Yeah. Curious poison. Alright, here's a spell. If you learn the knowledge spell. I could check that out. Let's see if I can do this. Yeah, I think I can do this. Knowledge. Again, looking at the docs for version 3, which apparently has the same 26 spells. Knowledge. The entire level is revealed to you as if you had found a map. It costs 8 spell points, but if we can get our freaking spell points up, man, we could become quite the spellcaster. We're finding a lot of spells, so we'd be able to accomplish a lot. Okay, let's keep looking around. There's a riddle. Let's try and answer it. And succeed. You gain 50 gold. All right, fair enough. Oh, we killed him. We get stuff. Let's take Let's try and keep our things kind of even. Strength, dexterity, intelligence. We'll take strength, then we'll take dexterity right now. We'll take strength next. And then maybe we'll start from the bottom with health, and we'll go up. We'll just do 1 every time. Although I do want to get that intelligence up pretty fast. If we can get it to 10. I don't know if you can go above 10 or not. I just don't know. There was, in some versions of the game, there was a cap. At some point I realized that's just stupid. Why make a cap? Through ludicrous means, I had first of all, before I say this, stats in Caverns of Xaskazien 2 are on a level that roughly equates to about 10 times what the level of stats are here. Like 5 strength would be the equivalent of 50 strength in Caverns of Xaskazien 2. But that being said, I had a character at one point through really weird means, a smith character, who ended up with like 3,000 plus strength. It was just insane. There's a YouTube video of it somewhere. I was intentionally building up his strength to give him massive, massive bonus strength damage. And then I made a video where I actually won that game, but I was trying to one-shot Xaskazien. I was trying to hit him with one single hit and kill him. It didn't work because just coincidentally I didn't do enough damage, but I could have. I had the capability of literally doing more damage in a single hit than he had health, than the main boss of the game had health. It was just a funny circumstance. Here's another spell, the Quest spell. What does that do? Let's just find out as we go. The Quest spell, for 30 turns, all experience you gain through combat, not spellcasting, is doubled. It says not spellcasting to remind you that you can't, blast a guy with a spell and get the extra experience. You got to kill them with your sword. This version of the game, you'll note, only had swords. It was the only kind of weapons you could find. Oops, we're not into our game here yet. Here we go. Now we are. Now this one, Restoration spell. That, well, in modern games, that would remove disease, but I don't think disease existed in this game. We're going to have to keep looking up shit here. Your health is restored to maximum when you cast this. That's a 15-point spell. Man, I think we're going to start concentrating on intelligence, because we have a character who's going to be just an ass-kicking mage. Here we go. Sorry, it takes me a few clicks to get back into the game to... The Bronze spell, that will raise our strength as if we drank a strength potion. The Light spell, that will allow us to see 2 squares distant, even through walls. Alright, we're definitely going for intelligence now. And Psychic Fear spell will make all monsters run away from us for a while. Generate Gold spell will summon gold into our hands. The Object Creation spell will create a new weapon or armor for us. It will upgrade our weapon or armor by 1. The Sword Mastery spell will raise our dexterity by 5 for a duration, like drinking a dexterity potion. Jesus Christ, we are a master wizard if we can get our intelligence up. So that's going to be the concentration for a bit, I think. Maybe health and intelligence will alternate between for a while. Doesn't appear to be anything here other than... let's go get some gold. In case this guy actually starts killing us, and we're worried. We'll be able to flee from the level if we need to. But if we go get this... Strength potion... Come on. Trying to get through that door. As you can see, the heavy doors don't always open right away. Let's grab this. Drink strength potion? Yes. You feel stronger. Let's grab this strength on the way by. And let's head for the temple. We can carry any amount of gold we find now, because with 10 strength we can carry 100 gold. So no matter what we find, we'll be able to carry it. As long as the spell lasts. Oh, there we go. Well, let's raise our intelligence. Very soon we're going to start doubling our intelligence, right? At dungeon level 11, our intelligence will double. Yeah. Let's go deposit it. We can. We have time before the spell runs out. Alright, it wore off. Let's go kill the kobold before we grab that health potion in case he hurts us. He didn't. But better safe than sorry, am I right? Yes, let's drink it. And there you go, guys. That was a legendary land. And as soon as we get to the new level, we're going to call it quits there because that was a little past a half hour. It's maybe a longer video. Like I said, I really hope you guys are enjoying this. I'm actually kind of getting into it now. Now that I think I might win, I'm really into it. Alright, let's go down to the next level. Yes. And let's call it quits right here. Thanks for watching, guys. I will be back, soon. I've got a bit of time this morning to keep playing, so I'll probably just come right back in. Talk to you soon.